Hello folks, Queen Roadkill Candy here, and today we're doing the Spellbook Arcana cards. Flip it over. This is for wizards, warlocks, and sorcerers, cantrips, and spells from level 1 to 9. Basically, you put these in like a card album, and then you do that instead of flipping through a spellbook. I mean, a spellbook I think is like $60-ish Canadian. This is like $30. I mean, there is some cheaper places. And in theory, you could just not play 5th edition and go with an older edition if you're short on cash. Oh, so this comes in two giant blocks. I feel like I'm a bad guy holding like stacks of cash or something. So this side has like a spell. The back we have this nice card. They did do this in 4th edition, and there's another one that also did hit. They also did with monster cards. And I have like the original like Advanced Dungeons & Dragons cards that you guys might have seen. It's mostly like artifacts and things. And you can also use that. Now why? I mean, that's where it's supposed to, the tab's supposed to come off, isn't it? I guess I could use this instead. Yeah, that'll work. Alright, so I got the plastic off of it. So you can see casting time here, race, unlimited, duration 1 round, components, and then you actually have all the text in here. Right there's Arcana. So you can see all the different ones. I'm currently playing a Warlock, so I'm going to be grabbing out the Warlock spells later. And then, you know, I'll be able to just put it... So there is special, like, binders you can buy for these. You can also use your, like, typical, like, Magic the Gathering binder. Or what I'm doing is... I don't know if you've seen it, but at Walmart they have these single binders for, like, Pokemon cards. And they're super cheap. They're, like, I don't know, like... $6 Canadian for like the newest one, and like $3 if you buy like a binder from one of the old sets, because it'll have like cards from the new set or Pokemon or whatever from the new set. And so they get pretty cheap, and those are just single page ones, right? Like 1 card per page, and that's what I'm putting mine in. So I can just flip through that, because I mean, I'm only level 5. I can't imagine our DM like making us go that high of level that I'm gonna like use the entire book. I actually might put Boka's Paladin cards in the back of the book because there's so much room in it. So, but yeah, I don't know. You can see all the spells here that we're going through. I don't know if this looks like a good idea for you. Maybe you prefer the book, but think about it this way. So when you have a spell book and you put those like sticky tabs on it, right? For the spells, every time you make a new character, unless you're making the same class over and over again, you're going to have to like replace those stickies again and again every time. I mean, you know, like a lot of people use like predominantly one class because not only do they like it, but you know, they know where all the spells are, they know how that character works, because each character kind of has like a certain setup, right? So I know when I first started out, everyone wanted me to play Rogue, and I don't really find Rogue fun at all. They're useful, definitely, but not really that fun. More like the spell casting, but I definitely understand, like, why new players, they suggest, like, a Rogue. Because a Rogue's like, all this terrible stuff happened, and I completely dodged everything and unscathed, and everyone has died in my party, and now I'm stuck, like, not the healer, but... You know, now I somehow have to figure a way to, like, pull their corpses out of there. But, yeah, I don't know. It's not as fun. More of a spellcaster. I mean, with the Eldritch Blast, I'm just, like, in the back, like, friggin', like, sniping people. I know some of you think that's boring, but it's not like, you know, I'm not playing stuff at the front. Because, like, I summon a bunch of stuff, and then I snipe from the back, and then... I mean, the DM can control your characters, but usually the DMs have me control my own characters. So all my physical actions are with, like, my 3 or 4 things up front, right? And then I'm doing stuff in the back. So... it's just like warlocks are so squishy. So, I mean, you can do the Fiendish Vigor or whatever, right? But, you know. And so I'm just going through these cards quickly because there's a lot of cards in here. And I know that, you know, you guys are watching this on your PCs, maybe a phone, tablet, whatever, and you'll pause it if you need to see something. So that's why I'm doing it quickly, because there's a lot of cards to go through. And I don't know if you've seen some of my old videos, but I used to read every last card in the entire boxes that I would get every time. And those videos for a 60 card deck were like an hour, you know, and like nobody wants to watch an hour worth of video, right? They just want to see what's in it. They need to like go exactly to the spot. By the way, these cards are really nice and thick. They're slippery, typical card size. I wanted to tell you just because like that matters. The type of material it is, if like you're playing with kids and they spill juice on it, as long as it's like not completely submerged, you should be able to wipe it off. Right? It's that, it's kind of like math book covers, or it's just like the protective, or placemats. Placemats also kind of have this feel. Like the cheap ones that you get at the Dollar Tree / Dollar Giant. Kind of like that, but it's a card. It's still paper, obviously, but it's really, really, really good, like waxy protection on these. So, I mean, the price, like, not only is this like the size of like, I don't know, probably 3 of the $15 decks, making the $30 price like super worth it. But, you know, like they're good quality cards. So if you don't know, you can also get like single race packs. I saw it for like Druid and stuff. I didn't see it for a Warlock. They did last edition in 4th. And those go for like $11 Canadian now, because like nobody likes 4th. But I mean, you know, if your DM or your group wants like cheap D&D stuff, you know, it might be like worth trying to go into that. Same with 3.0 and 3.5. There's a lot of like used stuff because people generally liked that set. So, I mean, it really depends, because like everyone has a different price point that they're willing to do. I know when I first started out, I got some, I'm still lucky, I often find like stuff at the thrift shop for D&D, and I will just pick it up and bring it home because it's like $1, you know, and like not everyone plays the same format of D&D. Some people want to go retro and do advanced. Some people, you know, they invest so much in 3.0 or 3.5 that they're just not willing to like go and like buy more, so they're going to stick to that. You know, some people, they like 5th edition because they made it like simpler and more inclusive and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So they do that. Some people like Pathfinder, you know, and you don't know what someone wants to play. Like 5th edition, my books are PDF because I have so much 2nd and 3rd edition that it's just like I don't want to clutter up my house any more than I already have. Like I like them, but the rest of my D&D shelf kind of got taken over by my Warhammer books, so I don't really have space for them. And plus I got, what is that one called? Planner, Outer Planets, or whatever, that elf one I showed like a pickup video of. I have like a stack of those. I'm still going through and reading those, even with everyone locked inside from COVID. Oh, nice. We got some blank ones here. So if you're doing homebrew, typically when I play, people do homebrew. And the reason for that is simply because some of the things they just don't think work very well, or it's awkward in combination with other things. Like, for example, I like playing Warlock. My husband likes playing Paladin. They're not supposed to be in the same party. So we kind of forego that rule, because otherwise, like, every time we play, our characters would have to argue. And instead, we just always make him a super derpy Paladin that didn't notice. And my Warlock's not evil, just painfully neutral, right? Which kind of is evil in their own right, when you have like someone so like lawful, not lawful, but like, yeah, lawful neutral, right? Like, it's just, oh my god, it's like, yeah, you know, like maybe yes, no, like sometimes like my character's doing something that might be legally correct and morally wrong because, like, again, I usually play neutral alignments because it just seems so unrealistic to be a super goody goody. And at the same time, if you're evil, it just seems like so much work to be evil. Like, I gotta go kill all these people for this item? I probably could have just talked to him and he probably would have given it to me. Or maybe it's a quest to kill a bunch of, like, rats. Rats are easier to kill than a bunch of townspeople. You know, these townspeople have, like, fire arrows or whatever, so I don't know. I just always think evil path is, like, a lot more of a hassle to me. It just seems like everything that could ever, like, get in your way will get in your way. So that's typically why I don't bother to play evil. I mean, everyone expects the warlock to be like, let's burn down the town, and why would I waste the mana on burning a town down? It just doesn't make any sense to me at all. I mean, if there was like a bad guy town and we had to kill it and we were getting a super good reward, then that makes sense. That makes sense to burn down the town. And to be fair, usually if you pick the side of good, like 10 towns will side with you and give you junk compared to like one town. If you go with the bad guy town, it's usually immediate reward compared to like over long period. So again, it just never makes sense to me. I mean, I know there's people that just like to do it because, like, you can't be evil in real life. And I get that. It's just, even in the game, I don't want to... Seems like a hassle, you know, to do all that. Yeah. So that's typically why I play neutral. And then usually I'm with a group of, like, they're mostly good. Maybe there's another neutral like me in there. But, like... I don't know. I've just never actually played with a party of, like, technically evil. I mean, even when I was with technically characters that were evil, they weren't necessarily evil because it was a different point of view. Kind of like, you know, Game of Thrones where, like, no one's good or bad. You know, it's just kind of a different point of view issue. So they weren't really bad. It was just an imposing view. So, I mean, they didn't necessarily even do evil things. So again, you know, it's not quite the same as like an actual like, oh man, I friggin' want that item right now and I don't want to like walk a block down and kill a rat and walk a block up. I'm gonna like torch the town, and torching the town probably takes like half an hour compared to the 5 minutes of rat killing. So it, you know, I'm curious, so what do you guys usually play? Like, do you like playing evil because, you know, it's so unrealistic that you enjoy it? I mean, you know, like, technically there are people like that in the world, but, like, you know, assumably you're not in jail, so assumably you probably don't actually do the evil stuff. And then, you know, if you play a good guy, you know, is it because, like, you just like having the power to finally help people? Because, like, a lot of the people I see playing good characters are characters that wish they could, like, help everyone in real life. And they... Ooh, Unseen Servant. I need to keep that separate. And I need to keep this separate. You know, it's typical people that want to help everyone, they can't. And so, like, they're living the dream by getting to help everyone, right? Which, again...